Yes! Asal Tante Oso, that bear you all know. Out of hibernation to entertain Raider Nation. What? You heard me, and everyone else did too. Let's go. Aww. Let's go. What's up, guys? It's finally that time. One last night. And then it's on. We draft Izzy and get it done. Start our future. Often imitated, never duplicated. That fool with no hair. That shouts like Ric Flair. Woo! The R8RBEAR! I'm just in a good mood, okay? It's tomorrow! Oh, and we have stuff to discuss, okay? There's some stuff that could happen in this first round that's not as exciting, but is oh so satisfying. You watch. We're going to talk. We're all the way up to Mach 11.0. I didn't even know that was possible. Who needs 11 Machs? What the hell is going on? It's like the Fast and the Furious of Machs. The only thing ahead of the Fast and the Furious 10 is the Mach 11. And I don't mean like the Mach Mustang. Come on, who's cool in the show? You know those Mach Mustangs were, oh my god, man. Have you ever seen a 1970 Mach Mustang? Beautiful thing. That's what the rest of the show's about. We're going to talk cars. Next! There's Daddy's Wonder. Now I was talking about you, woman, not the dogs.
I hope that's what you were asking for.
Yes, thank you. I'm always asking for a cup of joe, because everyone likes something hot and black inside of them. Did you see I got away with that one? Alexa, stop. Hey, you guys stop looking at my woman. Stop that. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the show. Appreciate you all tuning in. As always, here, R8RBEAR family page and R8RBEAR Live. But first, Tradish! R8RBEAR Live first comment. Woo! MVP tonight goes to the champion of YouTube, Jim Vanderlyn! Look, I've been putting the post up at different times. Now I'm going to try and go a little earlier, maybe shake it up, go a few hours earlier, then every once in a while, go like right at 7:01, you know what I mean? So you guys are going to get an opportunity next week to try to take down the champ, okay? Because he thinks you guys suck. He told me so just the other day. He didn't really do that, but it was funny, so I went with it. Second place, my silver medal goes to Bear! Mark Vargas! Okay, now, Mark, the 5 emojis with the quotations, I'm feeling that. Third place, my bronze medal goes to John the Lion! Leon! The only guy I've ever met on planet Earth that's taken many L's, and yet he's still pretty cool. Lion Leon. So many L's. I knew you got it. I just wanted to say it again. Honorable mention to S.A. Big Dog and Kim Calhoun. What's up, S.A.? What's up, Kim? Welcome to the show. Facebook! And the world heavyweight champion one more time defending his title. Dustin King! Woo! Oh my goodness, he was the number one contender, it seemed like, for months. And then out of nowhere, he took the belt. And now I can't find Josh Russell anywhere. Come back to us, Josh Russell. We miss you. You're not a shell of yourself. You're not a broken former champion. Get your ass back in here. I'm like praying he's watching and he just didn't comment. Second place, my silver medal goes to... And you guys know I love it when I was going to say a lady, but when a Raiderette slides into my sausage fest. That is my medal round, because there's always too many dudes. Well, and one of my favorites, no less. Tony Carpenter Evans! You don't understand how badass this woman is. Pretty. Gives her sons all the shit in the world. Works hard. Smart. Girl's blessed. Black girl magic. Third place. My bronze medal goes to Marcus Atchison. You know, it's not every day that Marcus wins a medal. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. One of my favorite commenters. How you doing, man? Welcome to the show. Honorable mention to my guy, Lucky Pace, and Mike Hendu Henderson. What's up, guys? Welcome to the show. Travis Kelly, I see you there. Been too long. We haven't talked in hours. I was off Facebook most of the day, dicking around with the girls. We got a new tree in, so we were putting that in the backyard and stuff like that. We're making this whole, like, Buddha oasis out of our backyard. Bear, do you think we're going to trade up for a quarterback? Jake Bumpy! Jake Bumpus, your profile picture is epic. You guys look great. Okay, so I had to get over that first. Okay, so no, and since you asked that question, let's just lead right into this. So I was looking at some of these 11.0 mock drafts, and you know that they're all done by experts. You get all these guys from Yahoo Sports, Sports Illustrated, ESPN. Of course, I got Silver and Black Nation, a couple others. And they all were putting in their 2 cents on what they think the Raiders will do. And let me just explain this. I thought this was pretty good. So Bucky Brooks, the NFL.com. Now, a lot of people go with Bucky Brooks with the NFL.com just because he has a habit of sticking with old school football. He doesn't go with analytics. He doesn't go by, not that he ignores analytics, but he goes mostly from what he feels like is the playbook of how a true coach, especially a scouting coach, would look at talent coming into the draft. Now, he writes this: beefing up the offensive line is a top priority for the Raiders. They want to control the trenches. We think J.C. Latham, Alabama, is a bully at the point of attack with great size, strength, and power. He will excel as a mauler on the edges. Now, I thought that was a great comment. I think it's, kind of obvious, but I think he would be nice. I think the kid with Oregon State is really nice. You've heard me talk about him a few times. And I can't remember this one other kid's name. I know you'll all know who I'm talking about because they're saying he's the number 1 or number 2 offensive lineman coming out of the country. But the kid from Penn State, I don't think he'll be there at 13. But if he was, I think we'd pull the trigger on that. Okay, but here's where it gets interesting to me. I thought this was really interesting. So Charles McDonald and Nate Tice of Yahoo Sports have us getting Quinyon Mitchell. Guys, I mean, this is the best corner coming out of college, and the guy has size, speed, cover skills. He can bring down running backs, etc., help against the run, etc. The Raiders have a dangerous duo on the defensive line with Max and Chris Wilkins. Add to that with a playmaking cornerback to help maximize the impact of those two, making the passing game. Bring in Mitchell, who has checked off every box a team could want from a smaller school prospect. I love the idea of this. I love the fact that he brings such a total package. Now, when I say that, I would direct you to the Jets and Sauce Gardner. What was the reason why Sauce Gardner was such a sought-after corner? Of course, he had all the skills, not just as far as football skills, but how to play the ball in the air. Great back pedal, blew away the combine, etc. Quinyon Mitchell did the same thing. I think that with Quinyon Mitchell, where he separates himself from Sauce Gardner, I think a little bit better of the off-the-field personality. More of a family guy, less flamboyant, less talkative with his mouth and more with his play. And that's not to take a shot at Sauce Gardner. I like guys like that. He plays and he talks, but I think Quinyon Mitchell will bring more of a Jack Tatum kind of, and I don't like comparing guys to legends. So let me be clear. I don't mean as far as his level of football. He will bring a Jack Tatum level, though, of mental focus, quiet assassin, a guy who's out there to dominate and make sure he does his job so his team wins, not dominate and pump his fist and flex his muscles. Of course he'll do it once in a while, I'm sure, but just not that kind of player overall. Okay, now moving forward, Connor Orr with Sports Illustrated. Now, I hated this. They said J.J. McCarthy. Some people have J.J. McCarthy slipping. They feel like J.J. McCarthy has all the physical tools. But as far as... This is probably the weirdest one of the pack because he probably has the best credentials. An undefeated Michigan team goes on to win his bowl game. Looked great most of the year. They would argue, though, that a lot of that was Jim Harbaugh and running an offense that was meant to do what it did. Make the kid look great. Feature him. Give him plays. Now, when you're at the college ranks, and I'm sure I'm going to be coaching some of you up on this one. When you're in the college ranks as a coach and a player, you're not doing anything at the NFL level. Not yet. You're just not. You're showing if you have enough talent to get there. So what Harbaugh did is he put J.J. McCarthy in the greatest situation to succeed, which is what all coaches should do. But sometimes it can get to the point where you're painting by the numbers. Let me let that set in for a second. Because why is painting by the numbers, bad? Think about that. There's no skill to it. You just see the number 1. You realize the number 1 means red. You take a red pen and you draw in where the number 1 is. Well, that's not hard. You see what I mean? And so if that was what he was doing in college, and that's what I'm arguing, is that Jim Harbaugh, in effect, gave him a paint-by-the-numbers style of offense, where it was 1, 2, 3, do this, and 1, 2, 3, do that, and 1, 2, 3, run the ball. And where obviously every team is trying to do that, right? So why is it different in this instance? Because Jim Harbaugh was a pro coach. He knows how to manipulate college teams. Now, why didn't he do it sooner then? He's in a tough division. Ohio State was always giving it to him. You know what I mean? But you notice when he finally beat Ohio State, he suddenly puts up a for sale sign and is, I'm out of college. Bring me back to the NFL. I did it. I beat Ohio after, what was it? I'm guessing. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, but I think it was 6 tries. And the 6th one, he got him and lost almost all the other times, I guess. So not so good. So I'm just kind of blowing past that pick because I don't like it. I don't think we'll take J.J. McCarthy. If J.J. McCarthy's available there. See, I'm trying to be careful because it's not like I can change the guy's career or anything. So I don't know why. I guess it's just the gentleman in me being careful to say this, but I don't want to downgrade JJ, but at the same time, he's hiding the fact that he doesn't have a fastball. You know what I mean? It's like one of these Japanese pitchers that they're bringing over, and they talk about how he's struck out 8 million batters in Japan, and he did it with only 2 pitches, and blah blah blah. And then he gets here, and Americans drill him left and right because he doesn't really have the level of Major League Baseball. He was doing it in Japan at a certain level, and then you come over here and he gets smoked. And I think that's what's going to happen to JJ to a certain extent. I think he's going to get to the NFL, and we're going to see him almost immediately get downgraded to the number 2 or the number 3, almost immediately. Because when he gets to the league, the same thing that happened to Tim Tebow is going to happen with JJ McCarthy. He's going to get there, and JJ McCarthy's going to say, "Hi, it's nice to meet you. I don't know anything. Teach me, please." You know what I mean? Because He was being controlled and fed like a remote control robot by Harbaugh. And so now that he's at the NFL level, it's like, okay, well, who's going to be my Harbaugh at the NFL level? Well, there is none of that. They expect you to get there, get the ball, and go be a man. Instead, he's going to get there, and he's going to be like, would you please show me how to go through my, protections and call out the mic? And how do I tell if they're in a different team? You can't learn at the NFL level. So I think J.J. McCarthy might be the quarterback among all these guys. Raging Raider Rhino, if you're watching, please don't throw anything at the TV. Or your phone, or however you're watching me, because I know you're going to get mad at me for this, but I think J.J. McCarthy might be the guy that Harbaugh sold out, the same way Tim Tebow got sold out. He wasn't really taught enough at the college level. Instead, what they did was they taught him just enough for him to differentiate himself from high school football, win at the college level with their system, and then spew him up to the NFL, not really ready. So I hate that pick. I hope we don't do that. Later on down the line, there was another mock pick, and another team of people from Sports Illustrated also picked Quinyon Mitchell, saying we should do that, shut things down. Okay, Terry and Arnold got picked by Pro Football Focus. The only reason I'm going a little bit faster is because these are names I've thrown at you in the past. But just real quick, I do want to say this. Arnold was targeted a lot in his final season at Alabama, and he made the teams pay for it. He allowed just 51.9% of his 80 targets to be caught, and finished with a combined 18 interceptions and pass breakups. He's not afraid to play the run either, and will bring a tough demeanor whenever he lands in the NFL. Now, I like Terry and Arnold, but not over Quinyon Mitchell. So I like the pick, and I do like Terry and Arnold. But my very first pick out of my mouth was Terry and Arnold. I have to admit that. But after now seeing that Quinyon Mitchell could fall to us, I like Terry and Arnold, but no way if Quinyon Mitchell's available. Okay, so Danny Heights at the Ringer also picked the offensive lineman I liked, the tackle from Oregon State, Talisi Fuaga. Now, I'm not going to go into him a lot. You guys know I really love this kid. But Talisi Fuaga, to me, a true tackle, would come right in, fight for the right tackle position, probably win it. And then you've got a solid right tackle, young pup, Colton Miller, left tackle, solid. We just signed Meredith at guard to help us at right guard. We're already good at left guard and center. Suddenly your offensive line is... I think that's a power move, man. I think that's a power move. It's not a wide receiver. It's not a quarterback, stuff like that, that's sexy and exciting. But if you get Talisi Fuaga, I guarantee the playoffs. If we get Talisi Fuaga, I guarantee the playoffs. Okay, now speaking of guarantees and getting loud, don't miss me tomorrow, because on tomorrow's show, we're doing our special draft coverage, and I'm going to be doing a little bit of a special game for those people who are willing to bid on the show. Now, when I say bid on the show, what I mean is a one-time bid, and we're going to make it $3. That's right, not $5. $3. Now, we want people to put in $5 if they can, because you guys know we work with a lot of charities and so on, and we're going to be giving away a hell of a package to whoever the winner is, and then we're going to go second and third and send stuff out to them too. And by the way, I apologize. Anyone that's watching that's still expecting stuff, bear with me. We have stuff on the way very soon. You guys know I'm looking right into the camera. I'm just being honest. I've notoriously been slow about getting people their stuff. It's because it's just very hard for me with everything we do. My mom, my wife, my responsibilities with my mom, my daughter. I drive her to work. I pick her up from work almost every day. So it's a lot to do, to then add to that, do all this mail, get all this stuff, and go to the post office, stand in line for a half an hour. It's hard to find that window. So I apologize. No more excuses. I'll get them down as soon as I can. Tony, make it dip. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. So don't miss me tomorrow. It's going to be dope. Dustin King, it's going good on YouTube, but I got to keep building it. So I need you to grab my YouTube, copy my YouTube link, and share it. And anyone else that would like to, I'd really appreciate it. Because people who really like my show, remember, with YouTube, it doesn't cost you anything. So if you really do want to help R8R BEAR Live, that's how you can help me. Grab my link to my show and post it in any R8R group you're a part of. Put it on your Instagram and just say, check out this show. This guy is great. Check out this show. This guy is super handsome and has great muscles. What are you laughing? You can still say that. Hector Louise, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Tony Make It Dip, the Broncos did get another Wilson. Not only that, there's rumors that the Broncos want to move up in the draft and be the ones to grab J.J. McCarthy. And that immediately told me that J.J. McCarthy ain't any good. Come on, be honest. The Broncos have missed on quarterbacks for, I don't know, since dinosaurs walked? Or should I say since John Elway walked? Because since John Elway went walking out that front door, ain't much been happening in Denver. And you know why? Because John Elway came walking back in that door and started making business decisions. And they painted themselves into a corner because he's a legend. So what are they supposed to do? Go up to him and go, hey, John, sorry, fan base, your legend, you're John Wayne, the gunslinger quarterback you guys love so much, number 7 in orange. Who couldn't win it, by the way, until Terrell Davis got there and ran the rock for him. Yeah, you own that, Bronco fans. Okay, you and your John Elway. Oh, John Elway. He used to throw the ball so hard, it would leave a little indentation in players' hands. So what? I never forget when they first said that. They said, he throws the ball so hard, the seams in the ball make an indentation in their hands as they catch it. I'm like, well, what? Why is that good? He's hurting his teammates. And that's actually true. They have his teammates on video saying that it hurt. Yeah, he would hurt them sometimes. Why are you throwing the ball that hard? I mean, if you just throw the ball hard and the ball gets there, that's good. But instead, it's like I'm going to impale him with this ball. He wants the ball to catch the guy, not the other way around. Armando Medrano, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Okay, no, Armando, look, I thought we had this conversation about the backwards hat thing. Bruh, you're a good-looking guy. You got to stop that. Doc Rader said, Bear, I'm so glad the draft is here. I'm tired of all these speculations. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You're tired of all my speculations? You telling me you're sick of my show? Is that what you're saying? Mock drafts and the rumors of blockbuster trades, none of which will happen. Well, one of which will happen. I'll be honest with you. I do think there's going to be some movement in the top 10. I just don't think it's going to be us. And the only reason I think that is because we're in the night before the draft, so I want to be as legit as I can as an analyst and your host, because I do really believe this is what's going to happen. Okay, ready? Definitive answer. Bear, what are the Raiders going to do? Definitive answer. They're going to hold at 13, and they're going to make the move to bring in the greatest talent available on the board that fits a position of need. So if you get to 13, it's going to come down to, let's say, Talisi Fuaga of Oregon State, the great tackle, or Quinion Mitchell, the cornerback of Toledo. Now you stop and you go, okay, well, wait a second now. We need both of those things. We could use one more really good shutdown corner, a guy that, has shown the physical tools and potential to maybe be, a real shutdown guy, an actual guy that we could bring in, shuts down the other side of the field. And Jack Jones would get lots of balls thrown his way because Quinion Mitchell is legit, okay? Now, is there a wrong answer between those two guys? I don't think so. I think it all comes down to who do you talent evaluate between those two guys that you believe will have the greatest success at the next level at blossoming and becoming an NFL player and leaving his college skin behind. You know what I mean? Because there's going to be a lot of guys that come from college, and they're good players, and they're going to be good in the NFL, but they're still going to give you what they gave you then. You see what I'm saying? They're not going to be any bigger. They're not going to be any faster. They're not going to bring you great plays. They're just going to be consistent. You know what I mean? And then there's the guys who get here and they blossom and they become even better than what they were in college. Now, when you're going for a first-round guy, you have to hit that guy. You see what I mean? That's what I'm getting at. So if you think, for example, what has the greater odds of success? An offensive lineman that's a high-grade offensive lineman, one of the easiest positions, at least as far, not easy, but as least as far as he knows what his job is. He's going to be blocking on every single down. And so now he just has to learn the teamwork with the offensive line, the call outs, the cadence, so on and so forth. Or a shutdown corner who at the next level, maybe he gets shown up by wide receivers at the next level because he's going to be facing an all-pro level wide receiver every weekend. Because remember, when you bring in the wide receivers from college, you don't bring in everybody. You don't bring in the bums. You bring in the best of the best. Well, I guarantee you Quinion Mitchell has not been facing the best of the best in college. He's been facing a lot of good guys, but not the best of the best. Every once in a while, you might face a guy that's going to make it to the NFL level. The other wide receivers are guys that are going to end up working somewhere else after this draft. And so he's going to be facing the best of the best, though, when he gets to the NFL level. So what's the higher potential for a bust? A corner that's trying to learn the NFL level of wide receiver speed and route running, or an offensive lineman who's trying to learn defensive ends, power rushers, these huge guys, super athletes that are a hybrid cross between a linebacker and a defensive end, much like a buffed up Max Crosby, as he's now over the last 2 years gotten much bigger. And so he's no longer that hybrid build. He is a defensive end. But initially, he was a hybrid linebacker defensive end, if you ask me. And can we get the higher success rate out of the offensive lineman? My answer would be yes. I would go with the offensive lineman. I love the idea of going with Quinion. But you could actually go with Quinion, end up paying him a ton of money at 13, and then he doesn't pan out. I mean, we all saw what happened with Jacorian Bennett, our other, super awesome out of the draft last year, a year before last, Jacorian Bennett, real nice, super fast. And he had his struggles, not that he wasn't good. He was good, but he was what he was. He was a rookie. He made mistakes. He showed positive signs, then would make a mistake, show positive signs, etc., etc. Now it's just a matter of can he in year 2 bring down those negatives. Shane Street, that's my guy right there. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Matthew Lincoln, Raider. Sean Paul Doney, what's up? Welcome to the show. John Rogers Jr. said, hi, Mama Bear. And don't forget, stars contribute to the show go directly to charities like the Kind Fund, Kids in Need of Desks, Punks for Autism, and, more importantly, St. Jude's and Early Onset Cancer with Children. We raised thousands and thousands of dollars. We're getting close to a 10 grand cap. Probably in the next year or so, we'll get to that number, but we're having a blast. If you can, like and subscribe.
Thank you for cleaning the cast irons.
Are you seriously coming in the middle of my show to say thanks for doing the dishes? What the hell is this? You're going to have them thinking I almost never do it. Hey, Bear, what's up? I think Raiders should draft Brian Murphy at 13 and make that D-line crazy deep and trade back into the first round and draft Penix. Michael A. Parker Sr., welcome to the show. I got to tell you, man, first, that Carhartt beanie is pimping. Second, I agree with your comment entirely. I really do. The idea of bringing in that kid and just making a brawler, just a bar bouncer bunch of guys on our defensive line, if you do that, I just, to me, that's almost like when you bring in a super all-star head coach. You know what I mean? A guy who's just a legend and he has multiple Super Bowls, and then you bring him in, like a Bill Russell. And the moment you bring him in, you know that you're going to win 3 more games than you won last year just because of his brains. You know what I mean? Just the way he'll make mid-halftime adjustments, just because of the play call he'll adjust to in the middle of a game, right in the third quarter, and he'll just see a moment and call a play that works for a touchdown. You know what I mean? I see that kind of thing happening for us if we can get the defensive line that deep. Where are you going to go as an offense? Where are you going to go? You know what I mean? We'll definitely still give up points, but nothing like we did before. We would go from a top 13, top 10 defense to top 5. You know what I mean? Getting sacks, stopping the run. When the ball comes out, there's going to be a lot more opportunities for deflections, interceptions, because quarterbacks are going to rush the ball. And when you rush the ball, that means the defensive backs are still close to the wide receivers who are still in their route production. And if that happens and the ball's in the air, all our defensive backs are going to get 50-50 balls thrown at them between the wide receiver, whoever it may be, and our defensive back. I like those odds. I like those odds. I'm sorry. With the defensive backfield, we're starting to build. One more player or two in the defensive backfield. Because we lost Amik Robertson, it's two. Had you brought in like Quentin Mitchell, and then now you add him to Jacorian Bennett, Jack Johnson, and all these other guys we had, then you would have had it either way. So either way, if we bring in a real stud corner and he pans out, that's the only reason why I'm on an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman over a corner. John LaJoy, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Woody Brown, what's up, R8RBEAR Bear? Penix Jr. will be our next quarterback. Woody Brown, hold on to that. Maybe go ahead and announce this too. Tomorrow I'm going to be having a lot of fun with you guys. I'm going to be giving away a package for my R8RBEAR Bear family page draft special. And what we're going to do is we're going to just take names in a hat who contribute to the show $3. And everyone that contributes $3 will have their name put in a hat. And then we're going to pull from that. Whoever we pull from that is the winner. They're going to get a special prize. But we're going to pull two more names, and those other two names will also win a special Raider affiliated prize. Unless I wanted to do something mean and order something in the mail, and then if something wrong came by accident, I'll just send it to you guys anyway. Say, hey, you guys will like this though, right? Stop laughing at me right now, okay? And I know you are. Tommy, stop laughing at me. I almost feel like someone at Amazon knew that it was me. Hey, Ted, look, it's the R8RBEAR Bear again. Get the New England. Go get the New England dice. And when he tries to do the reorder, we'll send him the Chiefs. You gotta be friggin' kidding me, okay? My account has never ordered anything but Raider stuff. Never. Not once. Nothing. And yet this time you send me this? You couldn't have sent me the Cardinals, right? Or the Bengals. You know, teams that are totally irrelevant. That guy, Joe, whatever his name is with the Bengals, okay, he's never going to win anything. Okay, he only did what he did because it was his rookie season. Haven't you guys learned yet with your boy, the R8RBEAR Bear, when a quarterback has a just spectacular rookie season, be forewarned. Okay, his sophomore season, he's gonna get pummeled because teams will have his cadence, they'll have his tendencies. Okay, we'll see if C.J. Stroud is the next thing, like everyone's already wanting to say, like they do every season when one rookie quarterback amongst the pack, Herbert Jones with the Chargers, steps out in his rookie year, Dak Prescott, RG3. I could go on, and they all have these incredible rookie seasons, and then Pete Olmeda. What's up, Pete? Welcome to the show. Okay, I can already feel people asking me this question. What's going to be in the package of things you can win? It's going to have at least 3 to 4 items in it. I know one of the items will be a set of these sweet earbuds by the Raiders. They're just so awesome. They auto pair, they sound cancel, and they're freaking dope. And everyone will know who your team is when you're bopping down the street getting in shape. Mark Vargas said, we trading up. I don't think so, man. Coretta! Hello! Love you, girl. Okay, Bear. Every mock draft I hear on the radio or seen on TV has us taking Penix at 13. I'm good with that, but would be super cool if we made a move for Daniels. Well, okay, I'm just going to say this. I don't like the idea of Daniels or Penix. Why did everyone just get mad at me? I'm just saying that they have. I'll say it briefly because you guys have already heard me say it. Slim frames, okay? Not NFL ready. They're both going to have to come in and learn a little bit. I don't mean to burst you guys' bubble here, but even if we moved up, or somehow, if Moses parted the NFLC and Jaden Daniels somehow fell to 13, even if we took him there, I don't like it. It's not that I don't like him. I like him. I think he's good. I think there's a chance he could be good. But it worries me to take that guy, have to pay all that money. He's going to show up and he's going to be third string, guys. I don't care what any of you say. He's going to be third string. If we get Penix, he'll be third string. I guarantee it. Because Gardner Minshew's not going to go to 3. Okay, there's no way. There's no way these other 2 quarterbacks are going to be able to play him to third place. There's no way. Okay, so that means at minimum he'll be the 2. So Penix can't be the 1, or you're going to put AOC at the 3? You damn sure not going to do that. He already proved himself. Now, I want to speak to the person who just heard me say he proved himself, okay? And I want to say to that person who's skeptical of that, I would say this to you. You have to remember he's a rookie that was thrown into the fire between 2 coaches and an idiot owner. A rookie offensive coordinator, okay, and injuries. And he went out there and played with his chest out, guys. I'm sorry. I like him. I liked him before the season started. I liked him after the season ended. I think he can go out there in year 2 and show, hey, I'm going to be a real starter. Whether it's here for the Raiders or someone else, I'm going to be good. AOC is going to be good, guys. I'm telling you. He's going to be good. It might take a year. It might take 2. He might come out next year. You know, Gardner Minshew maybe wins it. I could see a scenario where Gardner Minshew gets the 1. Okay? AOC is the 2. And let's say we pick Penix. We put him at 3. Okay? Then week 4, Gardner Minshew gets hurt. We bring in AOC. He wins a game. Gardner Minshew still injured. AOC comes out again. Wins another game. AOC is on a little bit of a roll. Gardner Minshew is back, but they feel like they want to see what AOC is going to do moving forward. So now we're in week 6, going into week 7. Week 7 is on the road. He wins again. Now it's his job. You see what I mean? Now it's his job. If he wins 2 in a row and then wins like a 2 in a row at home, or wins 1 on the road, 1 at home, and then 1 on the road, it's his job. They'll ask Gardner, you know, because we all know what Gardner is. Okay, he's not a young pup. He's a backup with number 1 qualities. He can come in as a 2 and lead like a 1. I'm saying that without blinking. I'm serious. So for those of you who are mad or saying, oh, we've got to get another quarterback, you can feel that way, but don't disrespect Gardner Minshew. He's legit. I heard Michael Penix will be gone by 8th pick in the first round by the Falcons. Troy Gill, not only do I agree with that, I agree it could be even sooner. I do think it could be even sooner. Although I've heard the Broncos want to move up for J.J. McCarthy, what's to say I'm wrong about which quarterback it is? Maybe the Broncos try to move up, but go after Penix, knowing we want him. And knowing that they're not losing as much in J.J. McCarthy. Because I am willing to walk out on a shark plank and risk falling to my death. That was a weird analogy to use, but okay. I'm out at the end of the plank, and the Pirates want me to go in the water and be eaten the sharks, if I'm wrong about this. But I would have to say that if I was the talent guy, and you get to the Broncos move-up pick, and the Broncos are suddenly on the clock, are they going to see J.J. McCarthy as having a higher, more ready for the NFL pedigree than Penix? I don't think so. I'm honestly saying I feel like I've let the cat out of the bag with J.J. McCarthy. And no one's talking about it. All they're talking about is he has raw potential. Raw is another way of saying he ain't ready, and he might be ready if he pans out. You know what I mean? But we'll see. I think he's going to be much more raw than they're letting on. I think J.J. McCarthy's going to be a project by whoever gets him. And I hate the idea of someone going up as high as 7, 8, or 9 and taking J.J. and thinking that's our guy for the future, and in reality he's going to be a guy that needs at least 2 years. At least. Glenn Medina, it is never BS. It's looking like the Commanders are going to stay put. So if we want one of the best quarterbacks in the draft, it will all depend on what the Patriots do. If we can't get Daniels, I would be okay with us getting Drake May. I have May as the second best quarterback in this draft behind Jaden Daniels. So you don't have Caleb going number 1? I know a lot of people don't think Caleb's the number one guy. None of the NFL analyst people, they all think that Caleb's going to be number one and is number one. But I talk to a lot of fans that they don't. but I know what the fans that are saying. They're saying that Caleb looked as. Here's one fan said it. This is the best way I heard it said. Caleb is one of those guys that can look fantastic in 5 games and look terrible in 5 games. And you're left with not knowing what you really have. You see what I'm saying? If there's 10 games and he goes 5-5, what is he? Is he good? Is he bad? Is he the reason you lost 5 games or the reason you won 5? I don't know. I think that he has the highest ceiling, though. I think that's what really everyone's talking about. And I think it's the same thing with Drake May. I think Drake may have the second highest ceiling. And I think that's just from up here. What he was doing at North Carolina, I thought it was impressive. Although I don't say he's better than Jaden Daniels. Excuse me, I don't think he's better than Jaden Daniels necessarily. I just think that they're so close that you could probably, with a good team, produce the same results from either quarterback. That was a good way of putting it. That was kind of what I meant. But Bear, I told you yesterday, defensive back first before O-line, and you said no. You disagreed. Wait a minute. But Bear, I told you yesterday, defensive back first before O-line. Oh, no. I said I disagreed with going defensive back before O-lineman. I do disagree with that. But what I'm saying is if they went with Quinion Mitchell, then that's different. That's the best guy coming off the board, in my opinion. I know some people still feel like the highest potential in some ways is that kid Kool-Aid, but I'm all right with Quinion Mitchell. I like the build. I like the upside. I like the mental attitude. I'd like to see him. If we're going to pick a defensive back, I'd like it to be him. Steven Shaw, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. But you have much less bust potential with offensive linemen. I would rather they did the offensive lineman, but if they picked Quinion Mitchell, I'm going to be happy with that. Because there's other offensive linemen. There's only one Quinion Mitchell. There you go. See? Fuaga or Mitchell at 13. Fuaga, I would like. Matt Marinovich. I would like that. Jim Vanderlyn, for the offensive line, what do you think of the tackle Joe Alt from Notre Dame if he's still there when we pick? Jim, the only problem with that is I think most people have Joe Alt as the guy most likely to ascend. And when you see those guys, those are the guys at whatever position they play that come off the board first. I see Joe Alt coming off the board first. I've also said best available, maybe before need. Best available, maybe before need. I just don't know if I agree with that. I mean, what if it's a running back? You know what I mean? I don't want the best running back available. If the third best offensive lineman's available, I'm gonna go with him. You know what I mean? I don't need a running back. That's just the truth of it. I don't need a running back. You know, I realize that the best in the game could be available. That doesn't mean he's going to come up to the NFL level and be good, and I end up wasting a pick while I've got 2 running backs in my stable that can cut it up. You know, I'm not going to waste a pick that way. At least that's how I would say it. I don't want a quarterback this year. I think we ride with what we got. AOC just needs some more time, and Gardner can be a solid number 2. That's my opinion. Glenn Medina, I agree 100%, but I would say this to you. I don't mind if they go after a quarterback, as long as they go after a quarterback that's, you know, a potential guy. In other words, if we go and we pick a quarterback with our 4th round pick or our 5th round pick, is that going to be a high caliber quarterback? No, not necessarily. But does that mean that the guy can't come from that round's pick and still be a great quarterback? We see it every single season, guys. Almost every season, some guy comes from garbage and comes up here and suddenly he's the man. Now, you know I never like to say anything good about the Niners, but guys, they had a guy that they picked in the 7th round, dead last pick, and he becomes an all-pro quarterback for them. So all I'm saying to you is you can't tell me, whoa, it doesn't matter. What if we get a guy in the 4th round quarterback? Those guys never pan out. We just watched a guy get picked in the 7th round. Dead last. Not just the 7th round. Dead last. Pro Bowler. Number 1 in the NFL for most of the year in yards, touchdowns, and completion percentage. 7th round, dead last, Mr. Irrelevant. So shut up. If I tell you the quarterback that we pick up in the 3rd or the 4th round could be good for us, shut up, okay? Just wait and see, because he might be good, doggone it. I'm tired of people saying that anyone you get beyond the 2nd round sucks. Something is telling the Commanders are drinking the Kool-Aid and will draft J.J. McCarthy because he's a likable and smart kid with good football traits, untapped potential. Yeah, super upside, Marcus Atchison. Once again, I agree with your comment. We think like-minded, but I just think that everything you said is correct, and they're going to be wrong. I think if the Commanders go with McCarthy at 2, that's going to be a huge, huge mistake. Huge mistake. Did I say huge? JJ is Alex Smith. Craig Gilmore, I don't want to disagree with you, but I'm going to, only because Alex Smith did not have the physical tools that JJ has. It's not even close. You got to remember, I realize we all have this image in our head because Alex Smith has been out for a while, but Alex Smith walked around at 6'2", 210. JJ is probably 230, 235. He's a big boy. You know what I mean? And so it's going to be a little different. Now, I don't even necessarily mean to say that that's going to be a good thing, because Alex Smith did it with, that light frame. And the more I talk about it, the more I start to think maybe I'm being stupid. But then again, Alex Smith, how did his career end? Blown out injury. Now, fortunately, it came like way toward the end of his career. But had it come in year 2 or 3, he would have been dust. He wasn't coming back from that. We saw him try. He wasn't coming back from that. And so if you have a guy like Daniels or Penix and they go through another one of these huge leg blowouts and they need a year to get better, ugh. Ray Generator, Rhino, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. I'm tired of being a joke with the draft. I don't think we're a joke, Glenn. It's just that we haven't done, our fan base doesn't like the fact that we don't do the exciting things, the sexy things. We don't move up. We don't go after quarterbacks. We just don't tend to do that. Now, we have a totally different general manager. So with Tom Telesco in the house and an 11-year record for us to look at, and I know I've said this before, but I'm just re-upping in case there's someone watching that hasn't caught my show. Tom Telesco in 11 drafts has never drafted down. In other words, he's gone up before, but he's never drafted down. He doesn't believe in stockpiling picks. Now, I don't know if I like that, because I've always been a believer in stockpiling picks. I always feel like if you stockpile picks, you're a lot more likely to find a really good defensive end if you have 5 of them to look at instead of 1, or 4 to look at instead of 2. You know what I mean? If you give me more bodies, it's just a fact. It's a higher likelihood I'm going to find one of them that can really play. Someone that even if I'm just putting him in there for spot duty, he can come in and be effective for me. Up here, picking Wolf up, then over to Detroit. Right on, Raider Rhino. Well, tomorrow I'm going to go live, and I'm going to look for you guys. And if you get a chance, call me from your end, and I'll bring you guys on the show. I saw a mock draft where the San Diego Laugh Out Loud would package Justin Sherbert and future first to go up and get JJ so he could be back with Harbaugh. That would be a massive mistake. I think Justin Sherbert, one of my favorite flavors, I think he can play. I think that he regressed because his offensive coordinator, who was the guy recycled from the Dallas Cowboys who got fired because his offense wasn't working there, why would it work in Los Angeles for the Chargers? You know what I mean? So I think he was regressing because of the staff around him. I think if you put Justin Herbert in the right situation, he'll flourish again. Let's draft Mr. Irrelevant. It worked for the Niners. All right, Glenn. Bob, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Hi, Casey. Okay, this is a good point. Yeah, but who did Mitchell play against at Toledo? That's a nice point, Tanamoku. Now, I'm not taking away from your point. You're correct. But I would say this to you, too, though. He showed potential against all those players, though. When you put a guy up against guys he's supposed to shut down, and then he does, that is still talent being shown. He can bring that now to the next level and be trained to be a greater defensive back. Because remember, everyone is just showing tools. Everything we've seen from every one of these college guys is just a resume. None of it means anything. Every one of these guys, no matter how they're ranked coming into this, there's no way to know that any of them will end up being that in the NFL. They'll all end up being different things. Some of them will be great, good players than they were expected to be, and others will be absolute garbage that no one could realize. They saw, oh, that guy's going to be great, and then, and everyone who said he's going to be great is going to go silent and run for the hills. I won't do that. If AOC ends up sucking, I'll say it. I'll say I picked him. I'll say I scouted him, and I wanted that guy, and he ended up not working out. Corita, you're always willing to bid. Armando Medrano! It's about time you gave me some stars, Armando. That is one of the coolest names in the bid. Armando! I love that. Medrano! Appreciate the love on the stars. Stop guaranteeing we go to the playoffs. Don't jinx us. Glenn Medina. Let's see. I'll do the $3 thing. Nice, Tony. Make a dip. We will see you there. I love you, Corinna. I believe that we can get a starter at right tackle in the second round. The kid from BYU, Kingsley Sumadue, will be a quality starter in the NFL for years to come. Marcus, now you see it once again. You're speaking my language. I'm not too concerned with the offensive line pick because, like you just showed, and that's not the only one. I think there's going to be quite a few guys. Now, the problem with that is every team in the NFL likes offensive linemen. So by the time we get to the second and third round, you're going to get weeded through a lot of these guys, and we're going to be looking at the guys that are more of the third stringers, at least visually and scouted out. These are going to be guys that we see as potentially the second or third guys that might be around. But I still don't care. I think a lot of those guys can get up to the next level and play well. Offensive linemen and defensive linemen are the hardest positions to play as far as the physical toll it takes on you. But they're also some of the simplest positions to learn because you're always pretty much doing the same thing. And then once you learn the play calling, the snaps, and you get comfortable with the quarterback and your fellow offensive linemen, you're just going through the paces for the rest of the year. And remember, these guys are coming from having done this since, little kids, high school, college, you're talking about, 12 years that they were, playing all at that position more than likely, or other, sometimes they were defensive linemen, then they became offensive linemen, vice versa. What does that even mean, Glenn? Elway bumped his head at birth, right? Moses R8RBEAR, will the Raiders grab a quarterback in this draft? Moses, now that I like, that's a better question. Instead of people asking me if they're going to go up in the first and things like that, just ask, are they going to get a quarterback? Yes. They're going to go after one of these guys, whether that's Bo Nix, or Streeter, or one of the other guys that's been, rumored to potentially come to us in the second round, maybe in the third, or maybe in the first, because there has been talk that maybe once we make our pick at 13 in the first round, that we package our second and our 5 or 4, our second and our 5, to get back into the late first round and go after a quarterback there. So it's doable. Matt Marinovich, exactly. Bet ain't there still any good free agents out there like that Howard dude from the Dolphins, and is Renfro on a team yet? I don't think Renfro's on a team yet. The Howard dude from the Dolphins, you're talking about Xavier Howard. Excuse me, I have the hiccups all of a sudden. Excuse me one second. And the winner of second place tomorrow night will receive these lovely dice. It hurts my hand to even hold it that long. It's like the devil tried to hold a Bible for a few seconds. Ah! Tony, make it dip. Williams and Jack Jones look. I kept calling him Jack Johnson. Jack Jones looks good. We will win with our debate. Yeah. Cody Palmer, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Woo! Draft day. It's tomorrow, James. Jose Triquez, if Washington takes Drake, May, and Daniels is there at 3, then the Raiders will give the house to New England to move up to 3. Well, Jose Tariqua is the only reason why I would say you're right is because I think the Patriots aren't bluffing. I don't think the Patriots are bluffing. I know that Bob Kraft was with Bill Belichick for a decade plus. Okay, so when you've been with a guy that long as an owner and he shows you his drafting style and you adopt that, you like that, now when a new coach, a new GM, and all that stuff comes in for the new regime, Bob Kraft's going to want it to be at least somewhat similar to the strip mall he went to get a massage at and a happy ending. You dirty old man. Sorry, I hate the Patriots. But I don't like the idea of giving the Patriots a bunch of picks. I just don't like it. It doesn't feel good. You know what I mean? Because what if once again we're getting bamboozled by the Patriots and they take all these picks from us, they rebuild and they're back in 1 year, and the quarterback we got from them doesn't pan out. Suddenly they look smart to have all these picks and players, and we look stupid holding on to a young quarterback that doesn't pan out. I'm just scared that's going to happen. I just seen a statement that Washington is holding at number 2 and already knows who they're picking. Dustin King, usually when that's true, the team picking at number 2 lets you know who they're going to pick because the players like that. The players like to know. They like to be able to say, yeah, it's me, and they're going with me, and I'm really happy. And then they get interviewed on ESPN, and they go, yeah, well, I can only say that I hope they do it. And it's all innuendo at this point. Any team could go into the draft on the very day and decide they don't want Quinion Mitchell at 2 or Daniels at 2 or whatever. So I don't necessarily know what Washington's going to do, but I'm not convinced that it's Daniels. I'm not convinced it's Daniels. I think it's a quarterback, but I'm not convinced it's Daniels. And I would argue that Daniels, Drake May, same guy. You know what I mean? You just get one is an athletic lefty that comes with a little injury baggage, and the other guy is a rock thrower who's solid but needs a little bit more coaching. You know what I mean? Drake May. Not much, though, from what I understand. He understands pro offense. Can y'all imagine another defensive backfield with a Charles Woodson, Nnamdi Asomugha type shutting down the league? Bro, that would be nice, but at the same time, the idea of a brawler defensive line by bringing in Brian Murphy of Texas sounds really good to me. I don't know if he'll be there at 13, but if we moved up, that would be who I'd like to move up for, because then you bring in that Aaron Donald type prototype, and if he pans out, you look brilliant. Because you're bringing him into Tyree Wilson, Jenkins, Crosby, Wilkins, Butler. I mean, our defensive line already looks pretty meaty right now. You know what I mean? You bring in Brian Murphy, it's over. You know what I mean? No, it will not be fixed. And no, my medal round is not fixed. Glenn Medina. Aiden O'Connell doesn't have great feet, so I say offensive line because he needs the protection. Jim, that's a good point, but I don't agree with that. I do think he has good feet. What he doesn't have is running ability. He's not a guy that's going to scramble. He just isn't, you know what I mean? But as far as his feet in the pocket, to evade pressure, know to slide left, slide right. On every play, it can't be the same. So sometimes you're going to have to read that pressure and slide away from it. Read that pressure, slide away from it, and make throws. That's what he did at Purdue. I'm telling you. This guy is Captain America. Okay, when you think of all the other superheroes, you always want the Hulk, Wolverine, Iron Man, because all of the things they do are cooler. But the guy who always gets the job done is Captain America. It isn't flashy. It isn't as exciting. He doesn't have rockets and missiles coming out of his shoulders. He's not green and stronger than everyone else, but he gets it done. And that is what AOC. Woo! Damn! Did I just come up with another nickname for AOC? Captain America! I kind of like it. Okay, here we go. Alpocalypse says, we are a joke unless we have a quarterback. We take Penix to go toe-to-toe with Mahomes and pick Edgerrin Cooper to deal with Kelsey, quarterback, and offensive tackle next. Rest is gravy. I agree with the gravy part, but I don't know if I agree with the Penix thing. I'm still kind of up and down with the Penix thing. Let's see. Let's ho, Knicks. James Furl. Let's ho, Knicks. I know you meant let's go, but, ho sounded funnier. Tony, make it dip. We're going to be on shortly before the draft starts, so it's going to be like 4:30, something like that, because I don't like to come on too early for the draft, but I'll be on. I am fired up, Raging Raider Rhino. Bear, you also said Mahomes will never win anything. Wait a minute. Bear, you also said Mahomes will never win anything either. I don't remember ever saying Mahomes would never win. I just hate him. I might have said that when we found out he was going to be in our Super Bowl, and I just ended up, being wrong. Tomorrow's show will start at probably around 4:30. Yes, and Raging Raider Rhino and my guy Raider Wolf are going to be on the show tomorrow. We are not moving up. Stop it, people. Yeah, I've been trying to say that, Glenn. It's just not our style. I do think it's possible. Tom Telesco has moved up. He's just never moved down. So we have to keep it in the realm of possibility, Glenn, but I agree with you. I don't think it's going to happen. How do you pay money to play Thursday? Bill, you'll have a icon on the bottom of the screen. It will be a green badge. You go to that green badge, and that allows you to subscribe, but there's also a star. If you click on the star will ask you how you want to pay for your star. So it'll ask for like a credit card or a debit card, whatever the case may be. I know you can even use those like Christmas ones, you know what I mean? They have just a certain amount of money on them. And then when you put that on, it'll ask you how much you want to spend, and that's how you do it. I heard they're throwing a party for whoever their first round pick is on Friday. Tanamoku, I had not heard that, but if they do, that's pretty cool. Lucky Pace, Dan Marino says you lie. Balled out, then went to a Super Bowl my second year, boss. Dan Marino was a god, though, Lucky. I mean, come on. I mean, the guy was amazing. You know what I mean? And he never got back to a Super Bowl, by the way. And so, by your logic, we'll get there really quick with Penix and then win nothing. But he'll be remembered as great. The gunslinging Marino. He had the quickest release still, I think, ever. It was still quicker than Marino's. I mean, not Marino. I'm saying Dan Marino. I meant Elway's. It was still quicker than Elway's. The only guy that I thought was close to Dan Marino was Warren Moon. Warren Moon had a long delivery with his arm, but the ball came out, like a baseball player. The ball just exploded out of his hand. Warren Moon turned out to be kind of O.J. Simpson, you know what I mean? He had a lot of spousal abuse things, so he turned out to be kind of a dick, so I don't like to talk about him anymore because Warren Moon was like my idol at one time, and I just mean how well he played football. It was just amazing. The NFL, because of racist things, just wouldn't accept him, so he went down to the Canadian League, wins their equivalent of a Super Bowl, breaks all sorts of offensive records, and then the NFL is forced to bring him back. And then he comes back to the Houston Oilers and is just slinging the league and has the number one offense in the NFL. I loved Warren Moon, but he turned out to be a real jerk. But come on, man. You can't compare whoever we pick out of this draft to Dan Marino. Come on, man. I will part the Red Sea for a starting quarterback. Yeah, I think most of us would. AOC has been whispered about being in a trade package. Raging Raider Rhino, I just think that all of that is speculation. Is it possible? Sure. Because we have to remember, even though AP is the head coach, he wasn't in charge when AOC was picked. That had everything to do with McDaniels and his GM. So he may not be an AP guy. AP may be quietly already made up his mind that AOC is not the guy. We just can't know that. You know what I mean? Because he's not going to let us know that. He's not going to mess with AOC's career in that way. He's just going to let it pan out like normal football. But he may right now already know in his mind that Gardner Minshew's better and that he hopes he can get Jaden Daniels. And then if he brings in Jaden Daniels and has Gardner Minshew, you let Gardner Minshew start. You keep Jaden Daniels at 2. You trade AOC and you bring in someone cheaper at 3. So, I could see that. That's football logic. I don't know if I agree with it. I got to see that happen. And then if that happens, those are actions that speak louder than words. So that will tell us that AP all along was not an AOC guy. If that happens, he was never an AOC guy. Mark Vargas says the Broncos want Jaden Daniels. Now, I'll be honest with Mark. I hadn't heard that. I heard J.J. McCarthy. I don't think that the Broncos expect Jaden Daniels to get past the Redskins. Sorry, the Commanders. But We're all hoping they do. We're hoping maybe we, make a deal with Washington and all that. This is going to be anticlimactic, okay? Caleb, Jalen Daniels, and then whatever happens from 3, 4, 5, 6, and on, there's some mystery there. But I don't think there's any mystery with the first two. I think it's going to be two black quarterbacks, guys. Too many teams are scared of Penix's injury history, including me, Matt. I'll be honest with you. I think J.J. McCarthy is a Josh Daniels. Oh, no, you think McCarthy is a Josh Daniels. Okay. All draft picks are a risk. You never know what you're really getting. Exactly. Okay, let's see. Sup, Bear? Jonah J. Davis, what's up? If we can't get Daniels, go Arnold, then a good O-line, and get VE for AOC. Oh, okay, a chance. Well, if they get a quarterback, the speculation that some people have been hearing that AOC could be put into a package is probably true. Because you don't want to pay a kid that much money that you picked in the 4th round if you're going to make him, in effect, a 3rd-string guy. You know what I mean? It just wouldn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for him. You'd make him look bad. Quinyon Mitchell is a dog. That's why I'm kind of hoping they do pull that trigger if he's there at 13. Good evening, Mr. Bear. So what up? Are we going to get top 3 quarterback? No, Andy Garcia. I don't see that happening. I want the wide receiver from LSU. Okay. Bear, that's the hat, man. I own that one, too. It's my favorite. Don't worry. I never wear that one backwards. I appreciate that, Armando. Jonah J. Davis. Arnold from Alabama is the dude. Terry and Arnold, Jonah J. Davis is the very first name I picked. When we very first started talking about the draft, Terry and Arnold was my guy. Now, I feel like, though, after more speculation, more mock drafts, more opportunity for me to look at it, I feel like if Quinyon Mitchell's off the board, you don't go with Terry and Arnold. Or excuse me, if Quinyon Mitchell and Terry and Arnold are both off the board, you absolutely go offensive lineman. If one of them is available, you go DB and then get the next best offensive lineman with that second pick. To me, that's the way to go. If they don't do that, it's not that it's a bad decision. It's just if you don't do that, it probably makes what we want to do that much harder, to get to becoming a great team right now. Let's see. Okay, now let me just grab this real quick. We're at the end of the show, so I just want to tell everyone real quick. If you have a pen and pencil, or if you just want to go back, you can watch this later and then write this down so you guys know everything that's going on for tomorrow. So I'm just going to go over this real quick. It doesn't matter if you haven't found a piece of paper or something to write with yet. Just remember, you can go back after the show's over, watch the last 5 minutes. You'll get the list. So here it is. Round 1, we picked number 13. Round 2, we picked number 44. Round 3, we picked number 77. Round 4, we picked number 112. Now, after round 4, it gets a little bumpy, but rounds 1, 2, 3, and 4, all of our picks, if you go and you look at the math, they're only about the rest of the league, and then we pick. So it's like 13th pick, rest of the league picks, 2nd pick, rest of the league picks, 3rd pick, rest of the league picks, 4th pick. So in reality, even though that might not sound good to you, what it means is every time a round starts, we're going to be a top 10 picking team in that round. So we're going to have a top 10 pick in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Now, the 5th, I think, is where that drops off. It goes a little further than 10th. We wouldn't be in the top 10 picks in the 5th round. We would be more like 15th, which isn't much worse. And then after that, it falls way off. Round 6, 7, and so on, it's like 60 picks before we get to round 6. It's crazy. So I recommend after the 5th round, go take a nachos and a beer run break. You'll have time. Has 60-plus picks. If I remember correctly, because I'm going off memory, but I think it was 66. 66 picks from round 5 to our round 6 pick. Number 148 to number 208. So, yeah, just looking at that, I'm pretty sure that's just about the right math. All right, guys. Alexa, resume! I think the song was over. Now, Alexa, play Hide by NASA. Now, you guys always know my song that I open my show with. I love that song. I've used the same track for 10 years. If the band who made this song sued me, I'd be broke. If I had to pay for like each year that I use their music, I would be screwed. Okay, don't forget tomorrow, $3. It's a $3 buy-in, and everyone that puts in the $3 will have their name put into a hat, and then we are going to give away one hell of a package tomorrow. I don't even want to tell you guys what's in it. I want it to be a surprise because it's going to blow your mind. I'm serious. Listen to me. I'm serious. It's $3. Now, I wish I could have normally just done it where everybody could bid, you know, and someone could just outbid everyone. That's the part in the song where I do that. It's just like my goosebumps were getting up again, and I couldn't finish my sentence. Let's end it. No, not let's go. No. Show's over, people. No, but $3, $3 buy-in, and it's gonna have some stuff in it, man. I'm trying to help you. I'm looking at you long as a way of giving you that poker look. You know, like push your chips in. Okay, be here tomorrow. It's gonna be good. R8RBEAR family page. Shout out to our armed forces, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, National Guard, Space Force, for all you do. The energy and love of this show is dedicated to your sacrifice, active and veteran. Much love. I appreciate you all tuning in, and if you thought tonight was good, wait till you see tomorrow. R8RBEAR family page. Peace! You know, like bye? You know, like good stuff? It's not a tattoo, it's a birthmark. I